choose to be viciously and brutally attacked, not only by my own government, which is very evident now, but because of that, people like Stewartson jumped on that bandwagon and took on whatever they wanted to take on and attack me viciously and my family and caused me great harm. Now, he didn't need to do that. He didn't need to decide to do that, but he did. His lies.
His lies.
His lies, not just his speech, you know, his lies have done great harm. And it's still damaging, because he's still out there doing it.
Pointing out the fact that suicide
Tell me more about my situation and evil men who are coming for my nation, and evil forces who are coming for my freedom. In secret Congress, nobody ever sees them. The propaganda, because everywhere I look, it's a propaganda. It's just like history books, it's a propaganda. Everywhere I go, but hey, mister, please tell me what you know. Hey, mister, come on, tell me what you know. 'Cause if somebody wants to make a confrontation, well, they don't get no play on your radio station. And they don't get no time on the television. The word's been sent down from the owner corporation for propaganda. And that's everywhere I go, it's a propaganda. It's on all my TV shows, propaganda. It's everywhere I go. But hey, mister, please tell me what you know. Hey, mister, come on, tell me what you know.
Wow.
A little bit of the Slackers.
Yeah, always sounds good. Welcome. God, that's just like a throwback. Like, oh my God, Slackers, Hellcat, all that stuff. So welcome everybody to Rad Pod and Not So Chill. Thank you as always for the work that you put into the opener. How about if we have Jim explain what we saw at the top there?
Yeah, I think most people missed it. Do you have it? You don't have it, Hi-Fi, do you?
Oh, I don't have it as a single clip, no.
All right, that's okay. Yeah, that was Mike Flynn crying like a bitch.
Pretty much. I mean, you can't. Yeah.
I mean, there is a clip where the lawyer asks Mike Flynn, have you cried about this? So we'll get to that one because that one's pretty funny. But yeah, the video of Mike Flynn's deposition in his frivolous lawsuit against me, a blogger, for tweeting about him, has been made available, and I have posted 1 or 2 clips, including an incredible clip where Mike Flynn is asked about Pizzagate. Now, Pizzagate is a propaganda operation, a psyop, whatever you want to call it, against Hillary Clinton that was started a decade ago, that Mike Flynn was right dead in the middle of, along with Jeffrey Epstein and Peter Thiel and the fucking Russian government. These things are all now very publicly available. And Mike Flynn is asked, are you aware if Hillary Clinton is part of it? And he said, oh, I don't know. Which is just perjury. Or he had a fucking stroke. Because I have hundreds of clips, tweets, videos of him with Liz Crokin and his Pizzagate people talking about Hillary Clinton and the child trafficking pedophiles. Oh my God. And this motherfucker is on video lying his face off about it. He was at, have you ever been associated with the QAnon movement, General Q? I don't believe I have. I don't even know what that is. Liar.
Lies.
Anyway, so he said this clip, that clip was him saying that my lies, that it's my lies that are doing harm to him. And that I am the dangerous one, that I am the one trying to incite violence against him. Let me be very clear. I don't want violence against Mike Flynn at all. That is the last thing. I want Mike Flynn in jail. I want him in jail because he's a fucking traitor. It's not complicated. It's never been complicated. It's never been personal. It's never been malice. It's never been any of that stuff, Mike. It's because you're a fucking traitor. Because you brainwash people. Because you used your military experience to undermine and attack the democracy that my grandkids are going to grow up in. So I spoke out, and you got triggered. And that's not my problem. That's a you thing. It's not my fault that you can't get clients anymore, you fucking traitor. You can't get clients because you pled guilty to a felony twice. And you're lucky you got away with that. So I'm begging you, show up in Florida in March. In case people missed it, maybe I haven't said it. I have a date with Mike Flynn again. We had a date. Remember? I don't know if people remember. We had a date and the motherfucker chickened out. Why did he chicken out? Because he can't face me. He can't face the truth. You can't handle the truth, Mike Flynn. You can't handle this blogger. You're on your fucking Twitter page selling books about psychological warfare, about how to be a digital soldier. And you get twisted because some fucking Antifa blogger tells the truth. So please, show the fuck up in court. I'm begging you. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a rant, but I did because you started me off. I'm done now.
Well,
does he feel better though? That's the important thing. You feel better, Jim? Yeah.
This is just
You're
me.
cool.
I'm fine. This is
okay.
I mean,
So-
the thing is that Mike, you think you're a digital soldier. I kicked your ass. I've been living rent free in your fucking head for years. He says all the way through, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that because I'm so upset. Good. Should be. Fucking traitor.
Okay, so
Right.
I just no, we had to open with that, but I just want to. So when I watched that clip, people in recovery have a phrase that you come in speaking victimese, and that was a lot of victimese. But I think it's really important that you explain to people how just cut high concept in the elevator going up, explaining it to somebody who doesn't know nothing, how he came on your radar and why you did all the work you did to explain to people the influence he was having on people's minds, and what it meant, because I think people may not understand Pizzagate. They still may not understand QAnon.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
like in broad strokes, bring people up to speed, because he was playing victim in
Yeah.
that, and maybe he feels that way because he can't get you to shut up
Shut up.
about him. But there is, the internet never forgets, and we all know he tweeted Russian propaganda from St. Petersburg in 2016. He, explain in simple terms why he came on your radar, and why
Yeah.
these years it's still so important that
Yeah.
people control in all
His
of this.
his claim is that I have that I'm personally trying to get rich from going after conservative figures like Mike Flynn. That's his theory of the case. And listen,
Yeah.
Mike Flynn is the most boring motherfucker on earth. I couldn't get if he was a retired 3-star general, I'd say thank you for your service, sir, and move the fuck on. But 5.5 years ago, and I won't go into the whole story, but 5.5 years ago, I shit was going down. It was the summer of 2020, and everything was going crazy, and there was a bunch of people online like bothering Chrissy Teigen about eating her kids and shit like that. You remember that? And I was like, what is going on? And why are all these people having riots and shit, right? And so QAnon came across my radar because it was on everybody's radar. And then I read an article and it said, ooh, this looks like an alternate reality game. And the alternate reality game is something I helped invent 20 years ago. And he was right. The article was correct. And that set me off from that day forward until this fucking day, trying to figure out how 30%, which is pretty much the figure now, how 30% of our country got brainwashed. Why are all these people acting like this? Why do people actually believe that Hillary Clinton is a pedophile? Why did this asshole go into Comet Pizza? What is going on? And you know what happened is I kept running into Mike Flynn every 15 seconds. I was looking at QAnon thing. Every single one of their profiles had a link to what? His legal fund.
Wow.
Because he lied about talking to the Russians. Literally, the Mike Flynn Defense Fund with 3 stars in the bio. That's why I got interested, because every one of the QAnon accounts saw Mike Flynn as their general. He was like this shadow figure who was even more important than Trump in QAnon.
Yeah.
I wasn't interested in him.
Right.
And then I was watching videos of this motherfucker doing where we go one, we go all. And I just started off on the journey. And you know what? I figured his fucking ass out. And he's mad about it. So what did he do in the army? He hunted people. He was called the snake eater because you'd point him at a person and he would get that person. he would rendition that person to wherever the fuck they wanted him, that person, and they would disappear. Under whatever circumstances Mike Flynn deemed necessary, legal or illegal. That was his reputation. And he used psychological warfare. He used Palantir. Mike Flynn was the first person to order Palantir in the military. He used Palantir. He used psychological warfare to stir up trouble, to find people, to attack people, all of those things. He did that in the military, and then he brought it over here. And he said right out loud in 2016, we have an army of digital soldiers. This was run like an insurgency, folks. This was irregular warfare at its finest. Quote unquote.
Right.
What the fuck does that sound like? It sounds like what it was. Psychological warfare. And you know what? Now, because of the Epstein files, we know how all that shit was organized. It was organized by Jeffrey Epstein on October 7th. And I can't emphasize this enough, and I'll end here. October 7th, 2016 is a smoking gun. That the last 10 years of American chaos is fake. It's fruit from a poison tree. And you know this because there's an email from Leslie Groff to apparently a victim because they're blanked out. But it says there's an important meeting on Friday with Peter Thiel and Vitaly Churkin. Peter Thiel and Vitaly Churkin and Jeffrey Epstein together on October 7th, 3 hours before the Access Hollywood tape comes out. 30 minutes later, the Podesta emails come out. 30 minutes later, the DNI statement from Obama saying that there's Russian interference comes out, which no one pays attention to because the Access Hollywood tape and the Podesta emails come out. Every single person in that room had the ability to affect each of the elements of the thing that happened that day. Peter Thiel, WikiLeaks, the Russians with Podesta's emails, Jeffrey Epstein with the money and the influence and the connections, Thiel Capital and Jeff Kaseya with MAGA 3X and the army of alt-right digital soldiers, which went out and did it, which ran out and created and ran these psychological operations that created the fucking nightmare that took down the most qualified person to ever run for the presidency of the United States, elected a rapist.
Who's now running a crime syndicate as opposed to an administration. Jim.
So Mike Flynn, to wrap it, was dead center of all of that.
So
he went to Moscow in 2013, right before Putin invaded Crimea, and Flynn helped him get away with it. Then he went to Moscow again in December of 2015, and he sat to Putin's right.
Yeah.
Right-hand man at the RT 10-year anniversary gala. And what did he do after that? Spent the entire year smearing Hillary Clinton as some kind of child pedophile.
Yeah.
So Mike, court, I'm begging you to sit down in the witness chair. Hold up your hand and call me a liar.
So I think there's so much to unpack there that I just want to clarify. A lot of things happen on October 7th. That is Putin's birthday. the right-hand man issue, I think people forget when we RT, formerly Russia Today, people forget that the State Department in 2024 during the Biden administration, uh, evidenced the links between RT and Russian military intelligence. There is no division, there's no firewall there. This is an operation of the Kremlin. And I think it's just incredibly important to remind people who continually was on, RT late enough to have known better. People like Alex Jones, people like Mike Flynn. It's very, very important not to forget that. But also, talking about Hillary Clinton, he's the one who stood, before the MAGA crowd and said, lock her up. How much of a role do you think he played in kneecapping any chance for her to become the president? How big an impact did Flynn have? And then how big of a role did he play in the attempted overthrow of democracy in 2020? Because I think those two are obviously important.
Yeah.
Miner's laptop.
Well, I mean, there was the NYPD look. There's another character here that's very important that connects Flynn to the whole thing. Tom Barrack, the private equity investor Tom Barrack, who was put on trial and somehow got off. I don't know how that happened, but he got off.
Right.
But best buddy with Rudy Giuliani, who had everybody in the NYPD fucking turned over, along with Charles McGonigal and all those guys in NYPD. And Mike Flynn, if you guys recall, had a nuclear deal to give our nuclear secrets to Saudi Arabia and Russia that he was texting with Tom Barrack during the inauguration. Everybody remember that? It's like Mike Flynn's texting about the Russians during the inauguration. Who was that with? It was with Tom Barrack. And if you look through the Epstein files and you search for Tom fucking Barrack, Ehud Barak, Vitaly Churkin, Jeffrey Epstein in the same meeting multiple times. These like some of the most like obvious like foreign agents on earth. Yeah. Ehud Barak, for fuck's sake. I mean, really, there's lots of meetings with the most infamous pedophile on planet Earth, who had obviously the most compromise of anybody on Earth, with Ehud Barak, Vitaly Churkin, and Tom Barrack multiple times. So Flynn had he had ideological reasons for this, which he stated over and over, but he had personal interest in it. He had a deal going on the side in addition to being the NSA. So he was plus. So, and we haven't even gotten into what he was doing with Turkey, and the reopening of the email investigation. It was Mike Flynn who paid the guy, literally paid the guy who told the story that Hillary Clinton had dirty emails on her laptop. And he paid him I can't remember the guy's name. I'm blanking on it. But Flynn paid him $28,000. There's paperwork. Right before the election to say that Hillary's laptop had emails on it that shouldn't be there, which is why Comey reopened the investigation. He literally directly paid the person who told that story. So just that, not to mention the 50 times he pushed MAGA 3X. He was retweeting Internet Research Agency content constantly. 10 GOP, all of those.
Yeah.
He was going for it. Mike Cernovich and Jack Persovic and every Russian agent on earth. So, and then he admits it afterwards. Digital soldiers, we did it. So 2016, it come to learn that the puppet master of the whole thing was fucking Jeffrey Epstein. And as I wrote, man, that's the big reveal of this whole thing to me. I was like, holy shit, man. It's like a bad movie who goes a little too far at the end with the plot twists, and like, come on, man. Anyway, go ahead, Finger Boy. What's up?
Let me get my fingers for you. Anyway, listen, we talk a lot about Mike Flynn. We talk about QAnon. We talk about Peter Thiel. We talk about Weave. We talk about the hackers. We talk about Moot and 4chan and Epstein. The reason we talk about these things, and I will continue to say this to my deathbed, the reason we talk about these things is because these things brought death to America. Parents murdered their children because of QAnon beliefs. Parents murdered their families. Parents kidnapped and traumatized their children because of QAnon and what Mike Flynn did. And a lot of people are blowing it, it's water under the bridge.
A giant crowd of people tried to hang the vice president and murdered cops because of QAnon. If people don't remember, on January 5th, 2021, there was a rally in the evening by the Capitol, and where Mike Flynn was, and he told his digital soldiers that patriots are ready to die for their country, and that the digital soldiers were gonna save the election because the election was stolen. He said that a retired general officer in the U.S. military who's getting paid $200,000 a year by us in front of the Capitol, pointing at the windows, saying, "You see the people in these buildings? These people are responsible for stealing an election from you, digital soldiers who scream back." That is incitement. That is a man who told his cult what to do, and then they did it. And that is very simple. I as far as how involved he was, and I predicted that shit step by step. Here's what they're gonna do, and you know why? Because they had to tell each other.
They told you.
They had to tell each other. What you had to do was pay attention, and it was hard because it sucks in there. Because those people sucked. They were just angry and rageful, and nobody wanted to actually watch what they were doing. But once you did, it was very easy. It was all centered around this retired general officer. And you know why? Because he was in the White House on December 18th, 2020. And simultaneous to being there, Donald Trump tweeted, "There's going to be a protest and it's going to be wild." And every single person who read that knew what it meant. They knew we're going to have violence that day. And Flynn started paying Oath Keepers. He did. He paid the Oath Keepers $100,000 the day before January 6th. Why you figure he did that shit? All of it was very clear. All of it was super clear. Simultaneous, by the way, in the Pentagon, who was in the Pentagon? Charles Flynn. And you know where Charles Flynn is now? Senior consultant apparel. Where's my button?
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Charles Flynn works for that motherfucker now. Works for the guy who was in the place with
Yeah.
and you know who was the chief of staff, the one who was 14 times told different people, no, we're not going to do the National Guard. You know who that person was? That individual. Kash fucking Patel.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
guess who else is suing me?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and if we
Why
know
is that? They're not suing me because I was wrong. They're not suing me because I was lying. They're suing me because I'm the one who got it right.
Yeah.
And I don't mean I am. I'm looking at Gal and Lolo and Jay and Clay and everybody, all y'all. We all did it together. And he mad. He mad.
So, yeah, well, again, if we know this, then what Hi-Fi always says, you know, were the intelligence agencies incompetent or complicit? So it's really, it's really
both.
two things can be true at once. It's very, very important for people to understand that a lot of the things that Jim was just referencing, all public information, receipts all available, and Mike Flynn did plead guilty to the FBI multiple times for his contacts that he initially denied with Russian operatives. It's very, very important to note that prior to having Sidney Powell represent him and then trying to backtrack on that. That's very important. But also, these are such dark stories. As you were talking, Jim, I remember my early research into a gentleman called Peter Smith and Peter Smith's role in this. And Peter Smith ending up, deceased in a hotel room under unusual circumstances. And, it's
wait, no foul play.
yeah.
What was it? No foul play whatsoever in capital letters, because that's very normal. That's what you do when you're going to kill yourself. No foul play whatsoever.
It's totally normal if you were in Moscow or St. Petersburg. Completely normal. So
the guy
anyway,
said he was working for Mike Flynn.
I understand that. If you look and you read back on that period, there were multiple references to the connections between him and Flynn in the, hacking, which he also said were, he was dealing with Russians and, and this is all about Hillary's email. So anyway.
There's one little detail about Peter Smith briefly. You know who the last person to visit him was? Chuck Johnson.
Oh.
Chuck Johnson? Well, who did Chuck Johnson work for?
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
I just hate this timeline.
I'm just saying, all of a sudden, the little fucking Nazi shows up. All of a sudden, Peter Thiel's fixer shows up over there. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I just find it really interesting that people who are the perpetrators and the murderers of democracy play victim so well, when in fact, the people who've actually been trying to defend democracy, the patriots out there who care about their country, took one assault after another for years and years and years, character assassinations, all of that. And it's just, I look forward to the truth and reconciliation part of this, because it is, as I listen to you talk about it, what happened is nothing just short of evil. What happened to Hillary? What is still ongoing? The fallout from all of it, just I don't have words for it. So anyway, thank you for that, Jim. Thank you for that, Hi-Fi. We thought it was really important that we interview a Ukrainian this week because we have the 4th anniversary of the large-scale invasion coming up in a couple of days, and we thought it was important to check in with Ukrainian reporter Maksym, who wrote a really important book called Russian Colonialism 101, which is where many of our viewers, that so much of that big mass of land known as Russia is actually co-opted from indigenous peoples and co-opted from land that actually had a lot of petrol, minerals, etc. So this has always been a story about imperialism, and I just thought it was really important that because Russia manages through hybrid warfare to control so much of the narrative, and so much of this is a long game, even when you talk about Epstein, etc. If you look at RT's timeline today, or the last few days, it's all Epstein, it's all sleazy parade all day long. And so I bring it up because I want to have people start thinking about how do you accelerate the end of that type of imperialism, that type of the serial killer in Europe. I mean, this is a genocidal maniac in Europe. And anyway, so we talked to our friend Maksym, and I don't know if you have any of those clips, Hi-Fi, but I think it'd be good just to get rolling on it because we're going to run out of time. That was a really brilliant.
Right, as any Ukrainian, you wake up and you check the map, what has been happening with the front line, whether it's expanded, especially for someone as me who's coming from the place that is now temporarily occupied. It's kind of a daily checkup that I need to do and see how the situation is happening, how the Ukrainian defenders are holding up, and whether any successes or there. But you can also, kind of help way remind yourself looking at the maps of 2022, 23 in the last years, and see that these advances that Russia is constantly parading and advertising abroad are actually catastrophically small. It's been done so many analysis recently pointing out that this is the weakest advance is modern warfare history, and not a single war has been happening with such a slow advance. Minding you that we're still talking about second largest nuclear power with almost unlimited natural resources, thanks to all that stolen indigenous land and stolen indigenous resources that Russia is in control at the moment still. And yet throwing everything at a nation that 10 times smaller than them, they're still not able to take over as a promise.
So I think I always feel better when I talk to Ukrainians. Like, I woke up that yesterday morning just like feeling just gross. Like all this stuff that we have to report on is also disgusting. And then you talk to Ukrainian, you're like, yeah, that's right. That's right. This is what we need to hear and what we need to know. I want to see the second clip because this is where we talked about accelerating the end of Russian imperialism. How to.
I would really advise to be very cautious about, pounding to the fact that Russia is failing. Yes, all empires fail, of course. This is just a historical fact. That's their natural life cycle. However, Russia is also 500-year imperial project. And they're there the longest in human recorded history after the Arab Empire. And they're there for a reason, that there's adaptability, so the capacity to survive and reinvent themselves. All other empires are already gone, but Russia still stands there for a reason. And that's why I think we shouldn't be just betting that they will collapse on their own. They will, but it can take another 100 years. For example, for Ukraine, they don't have that time. So there is a very unique opportunity in history, as we're seeing now, that we can speed up that collapse. And we have very narrow opening to do it, thanks to Ukrainian resistance and the successes and remarkable innovation that is happening in Ukrainian battlefield, thanks to Ukrainian armed forces. But this is a very narrow window. Otherwise, we can wait another 100 years and see what's coming. whether Russia will just collapse on its own.
It's what we've been saying from the beginning. Support Ukraine in any way you can.
And hold on. I want to reiterate something I said. I said it. I don't remember if it was a few weeks or a few months ago, but I said that Ukraine and NATO need to be coming up with a plan on how, when Russia falls, they're going to secure the nuclear weapons of Russia, because that is probably the biggest threat when that government goes over, and it will go over as long as Ukraine wins.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, 100% convinced that if Putin goes, his empire is immediately going to go. It'll go through chaos, but if I think if anything is true, is real, it's Putin's nationalism.
Yeah.
I think, and that I think that's the interesting bit about the 500 years of Russian, because it part of the problem is it's got two things that it has always done: suppressed and oppressed its own people, right? Through dictatorship, through monarchy, through all kinds of different regimes. Its people are used to being oppressed, and they're used to being national and imperial, right?
Yeah.
They've been doing this shit for 500 years, going after their neighbors. It is the Russian Empire is a meme, as it were, that you can't separate from Russia. That is what it is. It's who the people are. They are, nationalized group. It's just how they've been throughout their history. And so I don't think you can change that fundamentally. And so for me, yes, figuring out what to do with their nukes is important, but figuring out what to do with their nukes is meaningless if the country, is all radicalized to, want to kill us all.
Yeah.
Which is currently the big problem, is that Putin has a iron grip on the actual information of, and that, which is what they're trying to do here, right?
Yeah.
Like CBS and now fucking CNN, and one by one, they're trying to do the same thing, take away all of our ability to reality test, so that, we become the same kind of chronically oppressed, sort of blindly nationalistic, toadies that the Russians are, and to be fair, not all Russians, but
of course,
a lot of Russians are.
Major experiment in social engineering an entire population. And yes, you're right, it will be attempted here. And my friends in Europe do not think it'll be successful in America the way it was in Russia, because of what you said, Jim, about the history of oppression versus the history.
We don't have that reaction. Their reaction is, ooh, like, our reaction is, what the fuck, man? What the fuck are you doing? Like, even, you know what I mean? Like they're genuinely, and people who come here, immigrants are the most patriotic people in it that there is. It's amazing to watch, like, people like Ilhan Omar, right? That is just sitting there schooling these people about the Constitution, because that's actually what fucking matters. And which is exactly why they're attacking it. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. It's all important stuff. I would like to see the third clip from Maksym.
There was I think a Wall Street Journal report, and now you can find all over if you can search, because more and more details emerging every day. There was apparently one of many shared exercises between Ukrainian military and NATO countries, where Ukrainians completely decimated NATO troops in the war games. That there were Americans there, were Estonians, there were everyone with better knowledge of Russia, with less knowledge. That even Ukrainians walked out absolutely shocked at what they saw, because the NATO troops, even the most wealthier, were absolutely unprepared, not in terms of tech, but also mentally towards what a modern warfare is. And reading that, I was just terrified that a lot of people have, biggest delusion ever, that if anyone attacks, even the United States, we have all these nukes and everything, and we'll be fine, and somebody will protect, and we have NATO troops and nuclear umbrellas and everything. This does not matter anymore for modern warfare. And yes, Ukrainians are arguably the most battle-proofed, the most experienced army in the free world at the moment. But Russians and Chinese are not that worse. They're also innovating as hell. They also have advances on the field. Sometimes they're better at something than Ukrainians, and vice versa, because no matter how backwards they are innovating, and they understand the modern warfare much better than anyone else in the free world. So that I would love for people to think about. If 2022, we would think about support to Ukraine as a solidarity cause, or ethics, or morality, or something that a normal human being would do, because what we're seeing was so horrible that you are compelled to act if you're a normal human being. Now, I think it's more about very selfish reasons, that you guys are not ready to fight a modern war. And if Russians or Chinese or any other who are now cooperating, exchanging that battlefield knowledge real time, innovating on tech, if they decide to do something, you don't even know what is going to look like, or what it will take them to get rid of the democratic government, or to create a cascading chaos failure within the society. So that's why supporting Ukraine now, not supporting, but learning from Ukrainians, ensuring that there are Ukrainians to learn from. This is what is actually, I think, more important to think about it and have this reflection, rather than just focusing on specifically why I need to help Ukraine.
This is a really important point.
Wow.
That Ukraine's military is currently the most advanced, sophisticated warfighting force on Earth. More than the U.S. military. We don't know shit, literally, about how to fight this kind of war. These guys are building fucking technology, drones. Do you guys remember that operation where all of a sudden a bunch of trucks all over Ukraine just opened up, and fucking drones flew out and blew up their like long range bomber force?
Yeah.
Operation Spiderweb.
That's it. That like what. We don't have that. We don't have that. And we especially don't have it now, because Pete fucking Hegseth is getting rid of everybody who's got a brain in their head.
We have Anduril.
Oh, don't start with Palmer Luckey. Anyway,
Well, who gave Palmer Luckey the money to do that?
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
But Maksym is really truly telling the truth there. And by the way, and this is concerning, Palantir has opened up an office or I forget what they call it, a cell. That's not what they call it, but something like that.
Satellite
Corporate
office.
offices.
No, it's like a place. God, there's a fucking word for it, where a bunch of information flows, and supposedly they put it together and help target or whatever. That's bullshit. It's just fucking Palantir in there spying on Ukraine's capabilities, and I wish they wouldn't. You know, I mean, I can sort of see how it's an enemies closer kind of a situation, right. But it you know,
Nothing good.
it is concerning. I mean, their new you know, intelligence chief is pretty badass. You know, hopefully he's keeping boundaries or whatever, but you know, I don't want those guys anywhere, you know, near Ukraine and their information.
Word.
Which is a weird thing to say about your own country and your own people and your own companies and all of that.
Yeah.
I gotta point something out about Palantir software, by the way. There's been a lot of noise made lately about security vulnerabilities in Palantir software, and there's a bunch of CVEs out there. You can go look them up. But when I was hearing all this chatter about the CVEs involved in Palantir software, all I could think of
the CV what? The what?
CVEs is a critical vulnerability exploit. It's a
but you
hacker
can't
thing.
say stuff like that on the fucking podcast.
Oh, sorry, I forget normal
This
people listen to this.
This is about the too high thing, high five.
All right. Anyway, I would remind everyone in our audience that one of the stories in the saga of Robert Maxwell is that he stole software from a company called Inslaw, and the name of that software was Promise, Promis.
We're going back in the old days. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're going back in the old days. He was accused of sticking backdoors into the software and then giving it to places like our nuclear laboratory, right?
He wasn't accused of it. He did it.
Well, okay, he did it. Fine. But anyway, yeah, it just seems like it's the same playbook, just people forgot what the playbook was. That's all.
Yes, it is. It is the playbook. And if you want to go back into the octopus, there's a good story, a documentary on Netflix about it. All this shit, it's all the same fucking people doing the same things.
Yeah.
It's literally the same people doing the same thing. Robert Maxwell legit handed his business over to Jeffrey Epstein. And by the way, hat tip Dave Troy, go read all of Dave Troy's things.
Yeah.
Because what happened was Robert Maxwell had $50 billion in KGB money.
Yeah.
That basically he had under management that went to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
All of this shit that he did for decades on top of his own deviance was funded. It was an operation that was there to benefit the Russians from the 80s.
Yeah. It's been a long game.
It's been long game ever since. Yeah. Can I bring up one thing before we go?
Oh, please.
I am highly entertained by what happened with the Supreme Court today.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very interesting. It's a very interesting and look, as with all, it seems there really is a rule that the most entertaining outcome is always going to be what happens, right? And if anybody wants to see somebody even more triggered than Mike Flynn, go watch Donald Trump's address on Supreme Court, where he's like, I mean, it was wild, man.
Yeah.
And the State of the Union on Tuesday, which Trump said he's barely inviting the 6 justices he called them all Democrats. Gorsuch,
Yeah.
Barrett, and Roberts. He called them
Lapdogs.
Democrats.
Yeah.
You know, because they had the temerity to you know, speak up against the
tariffs.
most egregious,
Yeah.
embarrassing, you know, twisting of the law,
Yeah.
you know, that there has ever been. And you know, as much as I think that the Supreme Court is a fucking theocratic absolute nightmare,
Criminal.
it criminal, like bribe, it's a bribe cult.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. I think this may be an indication that they don't actually want like a full dictatorship, and that they see that that's where this is going. You know, the one thing that these people want to protect is the money.
Yeah.
Right? It's the money. These people are all there for billionaires, and you know, not to mention the Opus Dei, and you know, and all of that shit. And so if they're going to put their foot down, it's going to be about the money. And so them putting their foot down about the money leads me to believe that it's possible that they may not, you know, totally go along with whatever, you know, the worst elements of this program are, which doesn't mean that it's not going to be even crazier.
Yeah.
Because he was saying already the whole speech, we're going to do it anyway. We have different ways of doing it.
Yeah.
We're going to keep these. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Over and over again, just talking about how they didn't actually matter. And I think eventually there is going to be a conflict.
Some kind of showdown. Well, I looked at it too, because the fact is that he does have some workarounds. So maybe they knew that going into it, and they have to make it look like they actually do something there. You could be right, Jim, or it could be the fact that he can still do what he wants to do. He has avenues that he can explore that are open to him, where he can still do the tariffs. The other thing I thought is it a signal that, you know, that they're going to have a new master soon? Like, you just don't know. It's a very, it's very crazy town.
It is crazy town.
Like,
I wanted. Go ahead.
The situation is fluid.
Trump's oversized reaction made me think, oh, are they already just, you know, is this the signal that they're going for JD Vance or something? Like, I say that, just nothing other than just
well, he's this guy. I mean, you could hear his veins expanding this morning, right? Like, it was like that sucking sound was his fucking arteries clogging. Like, as I mean, holy shit. So, you know, we'll see
TBD
how long this guy lasts. But I saw a comment, and just briefly, just because I feel I have to. Jen Griffin, my dear friend, wrote the bisexual pics of Dump are on deck. This is very actually interesting, because over the last 24 hours, Trump has at least 3 times proclaimed his heterosexuality in different ways, in terms of violent interactions with men. Really, like on multiple, several, specifically sexual men stuff.
That's normal.
And I really need to see what's in the rest of those files.
That's normal.
I'm serious. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, when Trump's dementia, and that's, I'm telling you, he loses his inhibition. It becomes his disinhibition, and he just says stuff without, there's no filter anymore. The frontal lobe never gets engaged. So when these little fear bubbles pop out like this, There's a reason, and I'm just putting a pin in it. I think he's bi. I think he's bi. I think he's or I think there's some orgy shit on the island. Him and Prince Andrew. I don't fucking know, but just for fun, I thought I'd bring that up, and because Jen brought it up, because it's her fault, not my fault.
Are you saying that the South protests too much?
Yes,
he did perform fellatio on a microphone once. So.
He fucking did.
And
do you guys remember that shit? I don't even want to do it because my trolls will get it. Like it was such a. He's like
and
oh, how do you know?
He was going for the gawk.
And
I mean, yeah.
And he nuzzled Rudy's décolleté when Rudy was in drag. That was creepy. So
and last thing, this is important. Trump has a song that he loves.
Gloria, a YMCA.
A song at the end of that he dances and does a double jerk to. That's a song about homeless men having gay bathhouse sex for money.
Okay.
YMCA. You can have so much fun at the Y. If you're down on your luck, you're gonna.
All right.
Oh, for hi-fi to cancel it.
Would you? What? Oh, is that too much?
I was worried we're gonna get another copyright strike because
because I'm singing YMCA very badly. No, I don't think so.
So I have a friend who a sports writer, and he said ultimately when people get so famous, what they want to do is bleep themselves, and I think that I would put away in that category. So listen, I would like to see the last clip because we're already over an hour, and then deep thoughts with hi-fi.
Also, what personally helps me is just to carry on. And it feels very personal because, once again, as I've studied Russian imperial violence for so long, I know that the main kind of aim all the time is to demoralize people. So they stop resisting, stop living, stop loving, stop creating, stop working. They just stop. And sometimes if they cannot do it on the battlefield, and often they cannot do it on the battlefield, they will do it somewhere else. They will bomb civilian homes. They will do foreign campaigns, like, for example, allowing war criminals to walk on the Paralympic games next to Ukrainians. They will do some sort of demoralizing campaigns, claiming to foreigners that nothing works and Russia will win, and there is no point of resisting. So you just need to keep doing something. And of course, nobody can do everything, but everyone can do something in this. And at the end of the day, I feel like when I look back at this time, if we all survive and, I'm still there to reflect in, 10, 20 years, the only thing that I can rate myself with will be by my actions. Did I do something? It's not even about doing enough, but if I did something every day while watching this. And I think that's what matters and anchors me on bad days, on good days, just to ensure that you do something.
Yeah, if we survive this.
I mean, look, people have said this before, but it's worth saying again. Like when you're on your deathbed, or when this, republic flops over on the side and turns into some techno-fascist Borg state or whatever, you're not going to be, counting your money. You're going to be asking yourself what you did to stop it.
Yeah.
And so, ask yourself, what you would do in 1933 in Weimar. What would you do? Because that's what you're going to do right now.
Deep thoughts with Jim. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. High fidelity.
I keep making this case, and more and more and more people agree with me. It's starting to break through that we are, in fact, in World War III. Right now, the United States government is one of the Axis powers. We have abandoned our allies. But when Maksym says do something, it's very simple. You know, if you got a printer, you have access to a photocopier, just make some signs, you know, whatever. Trump is Putin's bitch, and just randomly hang them in places you wouldn't expect a sign. Something, anything. Just do something.
So good.
Undermine, subterfuge, subvert, be subversive. Yeah. It's time. I don't care what you do, but you got to do something. And none of us asked for this. And, you know, like Jim said, when you're on your deathbed, what are you going to do? Because, like it or not, well, this young lady, Jess Woodland, I think, says it the best.
2, 3, 4. And time will tell, in time we will see just what a fool time is made of me. 'Cause I thought by now I'd have this figured out, but I haven't yet, and it's been 3 decades now. I hold on to the saddle, I long for the ride into a battle I don't know how to fight. And I'll just keep saying it is what it is. Oh, 'cause I don't know much, it's the first time I've lived. I don't know much, it's the first time I've lived. Oh, the hands we're dealt, we don't get to choose. We can't always win, but we don't always lose. So I'll seek for joy with each breath that I have. 'Cause nothing's forever, the good or the bad. I hold on to the saddle, I long for the ride into a battle I don't know how to fight. And I'll just keep saying it is what it is. I don't know much, it's the first time I've lived. I don't know much, it's the first time I've lived. I hold on to the saddle, I long for the ride into a battle I don't know how to fight. And I'll just keep saying it is what it is. Oh, 'cause I don't know much, it's the first time